Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Rusty's Sudoku stream. Got a little bit of lag to the headphones. I could hear that by restarting OBS, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to worry about it. I've got the puzzle loaded up here. Let's do a validation. If it validates, you get 20 seconds to see about getting a quick start ahead of me. And I will watch print running on 3 different printers for a couple of minutes while for that time period. And if this puzzle takes over an hour for me to solve, we'll be stopping at an hour. All right, here we go for checking. It validates, so you get 20 seconds ahead of me. I'm not sure if what I'm making is stupid or not. Basically, I'm making plastic pegboard. Some people might think it's stupid, some people might not. All right, hey, we got 40 seconds on there. All right, one of these two is a 1. 3 possibilities here. Oh, no, 2 possibilities here. And up here we've got 2 possibilities. Don't have any help in this one. And I've got 5 possibilities here. All right, 2s. We've got a 2 here. 2 here. And a 2 here. That means this is a 2. One of these 2 is a 2. I've got 4 possibilities here. 2 down here. Over here, I've got 3 possibilities. And I've got 5 possibilities up here. Let's look at 3s. Got a 3 here. That's the only 3 I've got on the board. So I've got 4 possibilities here, 5 possibilities here. All 4 of these are options. We've got 6 possibilities over here, 6 over here, 4 up there, 4 in this square, 5 in this square, and 5 in this square. So we can't mark anything with this at this point. Let's see. What 4? Well, one of these 3 is a 4. I've got 3 possibilities for a 4 here. 3 possibilities, nope, 2 possibilities for 4 here. 3 possibilities here. And 6 possibilities here. All right, 5. Looks like I've got a 5 here. A 5 here. This one becomes a 5. This is a 5, and all the 5s are filled in now. 6s. So we've got 2, we get a 6 here. Up here we get a 6, that makes that a 2. One of these 2 is a 6. And one of these 2 is a 6. All right, 7s. One of these 3 is a 7. It means we've got 2 possibilities here, 3 possibilities here. We're cutting that down to, that becomes a 7 there. And we now end up with 2 possibilities here. And this becomes a 7, which means this is 2 possibilities now. And this is 2 possibilities. 8, one of these two is an 8. This over here becomes an 8. I've got 3 possibilities for an 8 here at the moment. 3 possibilities here. 9 comes here, so now I've got 2 possibilities of an 8 here. And let's see, where else might we get 9s? Oh, I've got 2 possibilities for a 9 down here. 4 possibilities here. One of these 2 is going to be a 9. Up here, we get 2 possibilities. Now I've got 3 possibilities here and 3 possibilities here. And then I've got 3 possibilities down here. All right, let's go back through the ones on up. So we got 1s. One of these 3 is a 1. These 3 is a 1. I've got 4 possibilities for a 1 there. 2 possibilities here. It was one of these 2 before because of this one here. Oh, it's a 1 here. That makes this into a 1. Down from that 3 that we started with here. Up here, I've still got these 2 as 1s, and these 3 is potentially 1. And these 3 is potentially. All right, 2s. So I've got these 2 as possible 2s. I've got 4 possibilities here now. 2 possibilities here. This is blocked by this one. And that can't be a 2. Oh, we got a 2 here. So it's one of these 2 is a 2 here. All right, so we've got 2 possible 3s down here now. 3 possible here. 5 here, 4 here. 4 possibilities here. We got 3 possibilities here. 3 here. Okay. 4s. We now have, well, we still have 3 possibilities for a 4 here. We've got these 2 possibilities, so that means this is a 4. That changes these to 2 possibilities and gives me a 4 here, a 7 here, and a 9 here. That solves that. This becomes not a 9, this becomes a 9, this becomes a 7. That means that's a 3. So now we get a 3 here. Now this is a 4 and an 8 because it could not have been a 4 to begin with, in where that 8 is. That's not an 8, that's an 8. And this becomes an 8. So now we've got 2 possibilities for a 1 here. Two possibilities for a 3. 3 possibilities for 3, 3 for 1, and the 2 for 2. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all filled in already. All right. So one of these 2 is a 1. One of these 2 is a 2. We still have 5 possible 3s. 4 possible 3s here. 3 possible 3s here. And 3 possible 3s here. All right. We got 4s here. 4 there, there, there. One of these 2 is a 4. Over here, I've got 3 possible 4s. And the 2 down here. And I'm going to get a 1 given already here and learned here. All right, 5. So 5 there. One of these 2 is a... Nope. I'm going to get a 5 there. That's a 5. That's a 5. 5 there, 5 there, 5 there, and there. So 5s are all done. 6s. We got 2 possible 6s here. 2 possible 6s here. And all the other 6s are placed. 7s. We've got the 2 possibilities for 7 there and there. 8. 8 there, and there. There, there, there. 8s are filled. 9s. So the center column and row are both taken care of. We've got 2 possibilities there. 3 possibilities here. 3 here. 3 possibilities up here. All right. So what happens if we just grab this and say that's a 1? That becomes a 3. This becomes a 1. We now have 2 possibilities for a 3 there. This becomes not a 1. Not a 1. 1, 2, 7 here. That means not a 7 there. 7 there. Right. We're down to 2 places for a 9 here now. We have 3 possibilities here. Two possibilities for a 2 here now. All right. That would mean this would be a 2, not a 2 here. And then we end up with a 9, 3, 9, 3, 9, 3 here. Can't put in 3s up here because I've got these 2 that can potentially be 3s as well. So over here we do have 3 possibilities for 3, 3 possibilities for 9, and the 4 and 4, 6, and 6. Ah, one of these 2 becomes a 4. This is not a 4, so this becomes a 4, not a 4 here. We've got 9 and 3 here, 3 possible there, 9 possible here. So this can't be a 3. What have we got here that I'm missing from this? We got 1, 2, 3. We got the 2 possibilities for a 4 here. We got a 5. This can't be a 6. Could be one of these two. Can't be a 7 or 8 or 9, so it's a 4. Not a 4 there. This looks like it should be a 2. Let's check that. We got a 1. All right. Can't say that's going to be a 2 because I've got too many possibilities down here. All 3 of these could potentially be a 3. Got 4 here now. 5. One of these two is a 6, 7, 8, and 9, and one of these two. All right. All right. Let's go with a 3 here, making this a 9. This is 6. This is 3. And that would put 3 here, but that won't work. So, back those out. Put a 3 here, 9 here, 3 here, 9, 6, 2, 3, 2, 3, 9, 4, 1, 3, 9, and 6. Okay. This tells me I've got something wrong. Let's see if we can figure out where that is. Maybe I just key pressed something wrong. Ah, 3 can't be here. That can't be a 4. So 1 and 4 here. That sort of simplifies things a little bit. So I got a 9, 6 pair here. Either of these, or this could be a 3. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's put a 3 here. And down here, 9, 3, 6, 9, 9. That can't be, oh, that's not going to work. All right. So 9 here. 3 here, 9, nope, 6 here. That makes this a 9. 3 fits there now. 9 here, 3 here. Nope, that doesn't work either. Those are our possibilities. So let's start with working through the 3s in any of these positions. That can't be a 3, so let's go with a 3 here. That makes that a 9, 3, 9, 3, 9, 6, 9, 2, 3, 2, 9. That makes that a 3. Okay. So back all the way out to that starting 3. And let's put a 3 here. That makes that a 2, 9, and 6 here. This becomes a 2 and a 3 here. This becomes a 9 and a 3 here. 9 and a 3 here. That can't be a 9. Neither can this. This needs to be, or 9 needs to be in this row. All right, I'm going to have to go back further. So I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, and we're going to do a flood fill from the start. So 1s, and yes, I normally prefer not to do that. Oh, these two can't be 1s. That can't be a 1. This is not going to be a 1. One of these two is a 1. All right, 2. I got 4 possibilities for a 2 here. 2 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. 5 possibilities here. And 3, nope, 8, 3, a 2 there, but not a 2. 1 is still possible though. Okay, 3s. And this is where we get to fill a whole bunch of stuff I normally wouldn't get to. Or get might be the wrong adjective. I would choose not to normally. Those two can't be 3s now. They both are possibly 1 and 4. 3 possible 4s here now. 3 possible 4s here. 5 or 4 possible 4s here. 6 possible over here. And 3 possible here. Right, 5s. We get a 5 here. This will be a 5. Down here we get a 5. And this becomes a 5. And 5s are done. 6s. This becomes a 6. This becomes a 6. One of these two is a 6. One of these two is a 6. And that's it for 6s. 7s. One of these two is a 7. I've got 3 possible 7s here. Places for 7s, right? 3 possible down here. We get a 7 here. That changes it to 2 possible up here. All right, 8s. We get an 8 filling in here. One of these 3 is going to be an 8. We've got an 8 here, here. One of these 3 is going to be an 8. One of these 3 will be an 8. 9s. This one gets to be a 9. And we get 3 9s there because one of these two is a 9. I think these two are supposed to be possible 6s, not 9. Although they are possible 9s, but not this one. So one of these 3 is a 9. I've got 4 possibilities for a 9 here, but no, 3 possibilities. And 4 possibilities here. 3 possibilities here. I missed something here. Got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this might be a 7. This is going to be a 1, which makes this one into a 4. And we got both 9 and 3 up here, so yes, that's a 7. These are not. That makes this a 2. One of these two are going to be a 2. Have to work through that. One of these two will be a 2. Okay, back to this being the only 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yes, 4. So we can clean up the 4s that we're potentially taking care of that. That becomes a 1 and a 4 here. So not a 1 here. 2, 3, 2, 3. Also not a 4 here. Are we good with the 7 here? Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So yes, 7 there. Not there. Not here. Also not a 1. Never could have been a 1. Confusion in the work there. All right, that makes this a 7. Okay. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 9, 8, 1, 3, 8. 1, 3, 8, 1, 3, 8. So I'm missing a digit here. The ones, twos, here and here. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7 there. Ah, this becomes a 7. So not a 7, also not a 7, that's a 7. All right, that makes this into a 4, because it can't be a 9. That makes that a 9. 3 and 9 here. 4 here. Not a 3, not a 3. Nope, not a 4. This is a 3. So one of these, this is not a 4, so that's a 4. That makes that a 1 and an 8 here. So not an 8, not an 8. That makes that an 8. 1, 3 pair here. Not an 8 here. That makes this an 8. 1, 3 pair through here. And one of these two is going to be a 2 or 3. Or with this one over here, a 1. Okay. All right, this can't be a 4, so that makes this into a 4. And that means one of these two is a 6. One of these two is a 6. All right, let's see what happens if I set this as 6. That makes this a 6. This becomes a 9. Not a 6. We had a 2, 3 pair there. That turns this into a 1. 2, 3, 9, 3. Oh, not a 9 anymore. That's a 3. This becomes a 9. That becomes a 2. That becomes a 3. This becomes a 1. This becomes a 3. This becomes a 9. Not a 9, not a 9. That would be a 9, so backing all of that out. That was starting with this one being a 6. Let's go with this being a 6. Not a 6 there. That makes this a 9. Not a 9 here. 6 here. 2, 3, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. That makes this a 9 up here. Oh, not a 3 here. Okay. Not sure when that got set. Let's see if we can correct that. That should be something else. There we go. That is supposed to be a 2. All right. This becomes a 4, 1, 4. Not a 4, not a 4, not a 4, not a 4. Not a 1 here. So 2, 3 pairs there. This becomes a 7. Not a 7 there. That makes this is 7, not a 7 here. That's not a 7. Not a 4. Not a 4, that's a 3, 9, 3. So 7 here, not a 9. That's a 9, that's a 4. 1 here. So none of these are 1. Not a 3 in any of these. So I'm missing a digit here. 1, 2, 3. I got a 4 here. 5, 6, 7, 8. Not an 8 there. 8 here. Not an 8 here. 8 here. Not an 8 there. Okay. Not a 4 there because of this one here. All right. We get a 9, 6, 9, 6. Not a 4 here because of this one here. Makes this into a 4. Okay. So I think we were started with this being a 6. That means this becomes a 9. Not a 6 here. 9 and 6 here. Not a 9. We never put 2, 3 pair across the top there. All right. Not a 9 here. Also not a 9 here. That's a 3. Makes this into a 9. This becomes a 3. This becomes a 2. Not a 2. This becomes a 2. Not a 2. This becomes a 2. And this becomes a 3. We end up with the 1, 3 pair here with this pair here. This becomes a 9. This cannot be a 2, so one of these two is a 2. But it can't be this one, so that's a 3. That's a 2, this is a 1. This is a 3, this is a 1. This is a 3, and this is a 1. There we go, 38 minutes. With a complete back out all the way to the beginning and a flood fill to get this to solve. Wait. Not quite the way I wanted this to run, but it is done. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time. And we've got another hard puzzle coming up. I'll be posting that in just a few minutes, and we'll work on solving that a little after midnight tonight. We'll see how that goes. Take care, everybody.